Foot Brawlers, welcome back to another edition of Foot Brawler TV. Your commish, Big fucking Willis in the house. On the show today, Mr. Kush, Mr. High Grade, aka making moves, Bobby Bam Bam motherfucking Bianco. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, always good being here, man.
Yeah, bro. We're having technical difficulties. Today's show's a little out of whack. I got a nice picture of Bobby smiling. You know how he's feeling, Mr. Kush himself. And we're going to jump right in. Oh, today's show is sponsored by your alcoholic beverage of choice. Mine, again, is a Rolling Rock. Bobby, I don't know if you're drinking over there, but what's going on over there?
On my side? Nah, I'm not drinking, man. Just got something rolled up over here.
That's what I'm talking about. Bobby Bam Bam Kush lives up to his name. All right, let's talk about this auto draft team of yours. It's beastly right now, but it doesn't look anything like the auto draft. Explain to me what you did to turn your team around after being 0-2, being where you are now on the show with a B.O. dub.
Right, so, unfortunately I missed my draft due to my brother's wedding. After going over my team, I really didn't like a lot of the players, but I had to roll with what I had. So, Gronk was out the first, couple weeks. Pretty much the players holding me down the first few weeks were Ezekiel Elliott, Mark Ingram, Blake Bortles. They're pretty solid, but I was still 0-2 after 2 weeks. So, I started making a lot of moves, man. I ended up picking up LeGarrette Blount.
That was in a trade. You got LeGarrette Blount in a trade from Moose, which he really could have used it because he lost Adrian Peterson.
Oh, wow. Big time right there, man. Also, picked up Tyrell Williams, who's been, he's had about 3 solid games. And I plugged in Andy Dalton this past week, who got me 24-plus points. But pretty much the keys, to my success so far is just going over the waivers, man. If, some players are not producing, man, I'm just dropping them, bro. And just, like I said, just going over the waivers every day, man, seeing who's out there and, crossing my fingers.
Yeah, well, you've been ruthless with the pickups. You have more transactions in this league than any other team. Next is Moose right behind you, but the moves you're making are nasty. And you barely have any starters from that auto draft. I think you're starting 4 guys on your team right now that were auto drafted, right?
Yeah, so pretty much the only players who I'm starting from my auto draft are Blake Bortles, I got Ezekiel Elliott, Ingram, Baldwin, and finally Gronk is back.
Yeah, finally Gronk. So maybe
my bench is pretty deep. And yeah, man, I pretty much only have about 7 of the 23 players that I drafted, man.
It's crazy.
Completely different team.
Never seen anything like it, man, and you're doing good with it. You had a high score, 201 last week, giving you the B.O. dub. Zeke is turning it around with 3 games above 20 points, 22, 25, 34 to be exact. He's got 5 TDs on the year and 100 yards in his last 3 games. This guy's looking like a fantasy stud. Then you got Coates, which was a huge pickup this week, and he had 34 points. It was on your bench, but it's just security and depth on your team, and I like where you're going with this. Well, let's jump. What's up?
Right, it's always good to have a deep bench, man, for the bye weeks and in case of any injuries. For sure, man. All right, we're going to jump right into these picks. There's some good games this week, some good matchups. And the first game we're going to talk about is Titan Twin, the worst team in the league, versus my ball Zach Hurts. That's Johnny Page's. And this one, Adam's been one of the lowest scorers week in and week out. That's Titan Twin. He's not looking good, and it doesn't look better. I'm not going to get too in-depth in this match. John wins this one easy. My ball Zach Hurts. Right, I was looking over this one. This one's probably one of the easier picks out of most of the games, and I'm also going with my ball Zach Hurts on this one.
All right, for sure.
Twins just looking a little weak, man, overall. But for my ball Zach Hurts, I like Russell Wilson out there, David Johnson, and Emmanuel Sanders out there is doing pretty solid. So yeah, I'm picking my ball Zach Hurts.
1 for 1 on that one. All right, in game 2, we have Show Me Your TDs versus the Gunslingers. Last week's Brawler of the Week, but this week's Chump of the Week. This guy's had some low scores and some high scores. This is going to be a good match. I like, Show Me Your TDs really needs this, and he has a better team than what his record is because he's one of the higher scorers, and he was I think he was number 2 in the power ranks at the beginning of the year. He's got Julio Jones, Larry Fitz, DeMarco Murray. I don't know how he's 1-4. I think Sean is too inconsistent, and I think Show Me Your TDs takes this over Gunslingers.
Yeah, well, this is a close matchup, man. Show Me Your TDs does have a pretty solid squad. Unfortunately, he only has one win. But on this one, I'm actually going to go Donald Gunslingers, man. I like Matt Ryan out there. I like his receiving core, A.J. Green and Allen Robinson. And Gary Barnage has been pretty solid the past few weeks also. So, Donald Gunslingers on this one.
Yeah, I feel like that Gunslinger team could go off at any moment. It's not very consistent, but when it goes off, it lights up in the 200s. Game number 3, we got Who's Dave versus Primetime Cuba. Pape, Garnick and Papa. All right. Who do I like in this? I like Tom Brady. Michael's team is nasty with Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, Javaris Landry. He's got Mike Evans, he's on a bye, so he's got to start Austin this week, which is terrible. And you got the young team. He's got Todd Gurley, who really ain't doing it for Corey. Dak Prescott's not a big scorer. Brandon Marshall's not living up to what he thought he was going to do. Amari Cooper the same. His best players are his 2 tight ends. I like Who's Dave to take this one.
I'm actually going with Primetime on this one. Having a little trouble loading up the squad here. Here we go. Yeah, so for Primetime, I like Carlos Hyde out there, Brandon Marshall, and Greg Olsen, and he's doing the double tight end out there, I see, with Martellus Bennett. Who's Dave has Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, solid. Jarvis Landry is pretty explosive, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Primetime champ on this one, even though it's a close one.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's gonna be that was a tough match for me to choose. Both teams are pretty solid. Game number 4, we have the Moose Man, O-Town Clowns versus Second to None. Moose Man's been on the uprise lately, man. His team's getting better every week after starting terrible. Big Ben Roethlisberger at Miami should have a decent game, even though he's not a good away quarterback. Miami's defense is pitiful. This guy's starting Chris Hogan. No bangers on this team except for Big Ben and maybe Marvin Jones, but I don't know how long he's going to light it up for. And on the other hand, you got Drew Brees. You got Devonta Freeman. Julian Edelman should have a better game than last week. These are not the 2 powerful teams in the league. They're in the middle rank where they are. I think Moose keeps his streak going and he takes this one.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of close matchups this week. I was going over both of these teams, but I'm going to go with Moose because you did name Big Ben and Marvin Jones, but man, I think LaShawn McCoy, man, he's having a solid year. LaShawn McCoy is one of the most underrated running backs out there. For Second to None, I like Drew Brees, Jordan Reed, is solid tight end, and Crabtree's having a good year, but overall, I like Old Town Clowns in this one by a close one.
Okay, and then we have a really good game, almost the Brawl of the Week. But it's not because I got a better game for that. A little one that has a lot more riding. But this is going to be a good one. Both teams 3-2. You have your commissioner, Big fucking Willis, versus high grade Bobby Bam Bam Kush on the show today, the B.O. Dub. Both of us have B.O. Dubs this year. Both solid teams. I'm looking at the quarterbacks. I'm looking at the running backs. I'm looking at the wide receivers. And both teams are just really good all around. This is going to be the highest scoring affair of the week. It's going to be a close one. Aaron Rodgers, Le'Veon Bell, and are going to lead me to my victory this week because they're both going to score in the 30s, and they both got juicy matchups. So Big Willis takes out Big Willis takes out Bobby, high grade, Bam Bam, Kush, a.k.a. making moves.
I hate to bet against myself, man. I do have a tough opponent this week, man. I was looking at your squad, man, and you are loaded. From, Aaron Rodgers, the guy could blow up any game. Le'Veon Bell, we all know what he could do. Matt Forte got off to a great start. Has slowed down a little bit, but you can't count him out. And then your wide receiving core is nasty with Demaryius Thomas and DeAndre Hopkins. I almost wonder how you got this squad, man. You know. And then Cole Beasley's a nice little flex, you know. So, you know, I like my team, but, bro, like I said, man, I think you're favored in this one, man.
Oh, wow. I think that's a footballer first.
Yeah, man. I don't like to bet against myself, but you look good this week, man.
All right, good. There you have it. A footballer first. So we both think the commission's gonna take him down with you, but that's an honorable man. You're a good guy in the show, and you're that's why you're one of the best owners in the league, Bobby. Okay.
Being honest, man.
And the brawl of the week.
Biased at all.
Yeah, I mean you're just keeping it real. The brawl of the week. Edo Crooked Willis, who lost to me last week, might I add, the little bitch ass nigga, and we got team Don't Fucking Worry About It, the Cologne brothers. Both teams are pretty solid. I think Don't Fucking Worry About It's 4-1, luckily, because he hasn't been putting up monster scores. He got the first week's BO dub, but since then he slowed down. Odell Beckham Jr. and Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Cooks, they sound nasty, but they're not doing it like they should. If they don't pick it up, he's going to be just an average team. And then you got Tyrod Taylor starting for Eddie this week. He's streaming quarterbacks, and he's got bad ones. C.J. Anderson, Frank Gore. Frank Gore's outplaying him lately. Jordy Nelson's nasty. T.Y.'s nasty. Lamar Miller's about average with his scores. I like Edo to take this one. Crooked Wills.
Crooked Wills. This is another close matchup, man. Now, I was looking at team Don't Give... What is
Don't
it?
fucking worry about it.
Exactly. But he has a couple players underachieving with Alshon Jeffries, Odell Beckham, Brandon Cooks. There's a lot of like subpar players here.
Subpar players with big names.
Yeah, subpar teams. With Crooked Willis, I like Frank Gore, Jordy Nelson. T.Y.'s been killing it. And then Lamar Miller, he had a terrible week last week, but he put up some points the first few weeks I was looking at. Actually, you know, even though Crooked Willis does have like a better spot, I think this week Team DSWAI is gonna take it.
Okay, there you have it. There you have it. I think it's gonna be a great matchup between you and me. I hope things are good down in Miami. Did that hurricane treat you okay?
Nah, man, just a big media hype, man. Didn't even touch us, man. It was barely a thunderstorm that day.
All we got was a little bit of rain and some leaves down up here. It was overrated up here too.
Thank God, though, man. We got everybody's space, man. You know.
Yeah. All right, Bobby. Hey, my brother. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for being a great owner the past 8 years in the league. I believe you in it. You started 8 years ago. We've been doing this for 9. And
this is my longest league, bro.
This is your longest league. Yeah, it's the best league around. Hands down, it's the best league around. Everybody knows it.
For sure, man. I don't doubt it, man. Plus, we pick our own defenses. You know, it's the only league that we pick our own defense, which is awesome. You know, I like the point system. Our point system is very fair. Because there's other leagues that I'm in that are like a half a point PPR, and it's just very low scoring, you know, and boring. This one, at least, like, our point system is good. We have defensive players, and plus all the owners come back every year, you know, more or less, for the most part, you know? Yeah,
well, we had the same, we haven't had a different owner besides Zoe 3 years ago in 6 years. 6 years it's been with the same owners, and the only team new, which is 3 years ago, was Alonzo, Show My TDs, and he bought his way into the league from Mikey Rod for $75. So, yeah, it's a prestigious league, man. But, hey, we're running out of time on the show. Thank you for coming on. Big Willis, your commish. Bobby Bam Bam Kush, the brawler of the week. And we're out, baby.